Thank you.
So as you noticed or just got the notification, we are going to record this meeting today for those who couldn't join us tonight. First of all, I just want to say welcome. It's so great to see all of your faces and all of your little squares on the screen. It's a great thing to happen on a Monday night. So before we get started, like I said, we are recording this, and officially welcome to our Worship Resources work session. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jen Kilpack. I'm the Director of Communications for Community of Christ, and I'm really pleased to have Becca and Susan joining us tonight, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Becca, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Hi, everyone. I'm Becca Loving. I've interacted with many of you through either one of our Facebook groups or through web at seaofchrist.org. I'm the one that manages that inbox, but I sit on the communications team, but actually live in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So thanks so much for joining us here today.
Everyone, I'm Susan Naylor. I work on the Formation Ministries team, which produces Worship Resources, and I'm here supporting Jen and Becca. And come January 1st, I will be the World Church Secretary and Director of First Presidency's office. And so I see many, many familiar faces, and it's good to be here tonight.
I'm really pleased to have both Becca and Susan here. And before we roll right into problem solving mode, I did want to take an opportunity to just share some of the foundational work that has gone on for the last year or so on our team and across many of the teams at headquarters and also in the field. So as technology and the way people interact with information continues to evolve, the church needs to stay current. And there's been a growing awareness that we are outgrowing our current digital spaces, and we have a need to increase our footprint in the greater digital landscape. The current seaofchrist.org site carries the weight of three major communication goals. We're trying to always communicate about mission. We try to communicate operational material or operational information, and we also try to share formational resources on the site. And communicating and providing that information to leaders, members, and seekers. And that's a really tall order for any single website. And sometimes our messaging gets a little bit confusing, I think, or even diluted because we're trying to communicate all things to all people. So out of the discussions that we've been having with a variety of people and groups, a new digital strategy is emerging for the church. And this includes a broader landscape for Community of Christ on the internet. And it includes three different yet connected websites where content has been segmented into three areas. So we're talking about three distinct websites yet interconnected. The first is focused on mission, and that will be our seaofchrist.org website, which is undergoing a reconstruction. The main audience of that website will be members and seekers, and that will be information about who we are and telling our stories. The operational website is being built on the SharePoint platform. It will be accessible to anyone who wants to create an account. It will be primarily for leaders, priesthood, and members. So there'll be information on policies, administrator's handbook kind of material, priesthood preparation, etc. And then the last focus area is formation resources. And I saw a question pop up in the chat about what is a formational resource. Well, those are anything that helps form us as disciples. So things like worship resources and a discernment guide, sometimes even spiritual practices, lessons. Those are the kind of things we're talking about when we say formational resources. So those resources are shifting over to heraldhouse.org, and those or that audience is mainly members, leaders, and planners. So that is why you all are here, because we have shifted over worship resources. And even though on paper it sounded like it was going to be a really good switch, we've heard enough feedback that we really feel like we maybe missed the mark a little bit. So to tonight I want to, Becca, I'm gonna pause for just a second in my thing. Beck, as questions come up in the chat, if you're able to just answer them
I will
right
do
in the
that.
chat, that'll be perfect. And then we'll take some of those questions verbally a little later. Is that okay?
That sounds great.
Perfect. Okay, so before we jump into hearing what your issues are specifically, I think in general we've gotten enough feedback to know these are kind of the key things that people are struggling with. The first one is the copy and paste issue. I think people are trying to copy and paste maybe out of a PDF, and that's not working very well. We've heard that some people don't have Word, so that will make it difficult to open a Word doc, which is also provided. And then the third thing, which I think is maybe the biggest issue, is that on the seaofchrist.org site now, when you go to a Sunday, you can click through the tabs of worship resources, sermon and class helps, and small groups. And now we've grouped those things separately by month. So if you're planning the third Sunday of Advent, you have to download 3 things and then find the corresponding worship help, sermon help, and small group things in 3 different documents. So that feels like maybe the biggest hurdle that people are struggling with. So I'm going to jump into the Herald House website and share screen here. Maybe. Okay. Can you see screen okay? Thumbs up. Okay. This is the Herald House website. And if you are not familiar with this website, it will become one of your best friends if you are a worship planner, because this is going to be the home of worship resources. You can see here formational resources by Community of Christ. There's a way to log in or create an account, and obviously a way to search. This is the mega menu for those of you who maybe didn't see the menu change that happened early in November. The categories here: scripture and study, books, digital media, church life, apparel, gifts, and then we've got Spanish and French. As I mentioned earlier, our phase 2 will be to make those available in French and Spanish for our French and Spanish speakers. So a couple ways to get to worship resources before we jump into particulars. Church life is the category you'll go to, and you can go to, you can go to worship resources here. You can click on either of these products. We'll get you there. Or if you scroll, this is back on the homepage, you can click here to worship planning, or at the bottom of every single page on Herald House, worship resources is listed at the bottom. So if you come to the site and you think, oh, I don't remember how to get to worship resources, scroll a little bit, or you can just search. That's my favorite thing to do, is search. So I'm going to open now the test product that I've been working on. And here it is. So in response to the comment of, I don't have Word, I can't use a Word document, or it's too hard to figure out which sermon help goes with which worship outline. We've restructured the way those documents are built. So now, instead of downloading the month of December for worship outlines, we've separated those now by week, and we've included a worship outline. Then followed directly below that is the sermon and class helps, and directly below that is the small group resources, Sacred Space. The doc version is the Microsoft Word version, and the web version is an HTML file. So if you don't have Word and you use some other program to create your worship outlines or bulletins or material that you share with worship planners, this would be the one that you use. So here's what happens when you click it. When you click the doc, I'm going to look at November 28th, and I think I want to use the Word document. So I'm going to click this, and it's going to automatically download. So mine automatically downloads here. Sometimes, depending on your browser, it may not be visible on your at the bottom of your browser. So if you use a file explorer, like I like to use Windows Explorer or File Explorer, I'm sorry. Mine, it goes into my downloads folder. So I downloaded this like 18 times today. I'm sorry. So here we go. November Worship Tools is here in my downloads folder. I can also open it from here though. I just double click and it opens up my Word document, which is still on my other screen, excuse me. And here is the worship resources. Scroll, scroll, scroll. So you get to the end of that. Then sermon and class helps starts here. So if you were a preacher or just want to look at what some of those questions or central ideas are, and then sacred space begins right after that. And that's the small group resources. So that's one way to access if you are a Word user. Also, if you are a Mac user, I know on mine, I can access or open Word documents inside my Mac programs. Also, it's possible to download this document and use it in Google Docs if you use Google Docs as well. The next item I want to show you is the web version. So again, it's the same thing. If you click this, it automatically downloads the HTML file. So I'm clicking. It's downloading here my HTML file. I'm going to double click this and it opens up in my browser. So it's opening up in my internet browser. So you don't have to have Word. It doesn't open my Word program. And again, you can copy and paste any of these things. Copy. And I'll come back over to, where did my Word doc go? So here's a new Word document because I'm a Word user. I paste, it keeps all my formatting, it keeps my italics and bold, etc. So it should be a fairly easy process for copy and pasting if you're using pieces and parts of this to make your bulletins. I do not want to save that. And I'm going to go back to worship planning. I only was able today to get a couple of these things linked, but that's the main idea that we have for helping kind of resolve some of the issues. So I guess I'm going to pause for a second and ask if there's any questions about this particular model specifically. And then we will jump into maybe some of your more specific questions a little later.
So just want to reiterate, Jen, that this is just a test page that we're considering to replace the system that we have on heraldhouse.org. Just had a few questions about that. And then a question about printing various sections. I don't know if you can kind of walk through how to specify what pages are printed.
Oh, sure.
If you just want to have a specific section of the document printed.
Yes, I'm going to speak probably, let's do Word first because I know that for sure. So here's my, nope, that is not my Word doc. I apologize. I have too many things open now. I'm just going to open it again. Here we go. This is why I have 800 copies. Vim, don't get mad at me. I'm going to go in and clean up my downloads box today. Okay. Here we go. So I am going to pretend like I only want to print the sermon and class helps, right? So I roll down to sermon and class helps. And I am going to go to print. Oh, first, I'm going to look to see what page this is on. So down here in the corner, it tells you what page you're on. So here's sermon and class helps. I'm on this page. That's page 10. And it goes through page 11. So then I go up to print. And if you just click print all pages, it will print the entire thing. You can print current page, or down in this box here, print pages. I can put a look. I can say I want to print pages 10 through 11. You can also scroll. I forgot, this is an option too. You can scroll down here to look at the different pages, and it will tell you what number the page is on the bottom there. So like this, if I want to print Sacred Space, it's 12 through 16. So I'd change that to 12 through 16, and then I'd hit print. Let's think about how that would work on the website version.
Pretty much the same way. You don't know the page number here, but only when you print it, you might see page numbers.
Okay, I was gonna say, So it'll load, for me, it loads a preview. I use the Chrome browser, so this might be slightly different depending on what browser you use. But yes, Vim's right. So when you get to the print, it shows you kind of how the pages break, and you can see, I'm gonna have to get rid of that.
You
Weird.
should be able to select the section from the web page and just print your selection too.
Oh, that's another good option. So if you want to do, let me finish this and then we'll practice that too. So here you can see this one is starts on page 7 and rolls down to page 8. So again, you could do custom and then put the page range there. Or I'm not sure who said that. It sounded a little bit like Carrie, but there I have a selection. So I've selected the things that I want to print. And if I go back to my print option online, oh, my browser doesn't like to do that, but yours might. So, oh no, it does. There it is, selection only. I'm so sorry. Here we go, selection only. And there it prints. So that would probably be the very easiest thing, because then you don't have to worry about what pages are on what. You would just select it and then choose that. Like I said, what I'm showing today is the Chrome browser. So if you use a different browser, the options might be slightly different, but usually you have those options. Okay. Any other questions specifically about this?
Yes, there was one other question.
Okay.
Charlie Brown asked, will the Old Testament and New Testament material be available?
Are you
So
talking
with
about like
this,
when
I
the
assume-
Sundays? Yeah.
I assume the sermon in class helps.
Okay. So if you are, familiar with the way that we've been using the Old Testament, New Testament, the path is kind of like Old Testament, then New Testament, then we kind of dip in and out. And on the weeks that the focus scripture for worship helps is New Testament, we will include the New Testament sermon helps. instead of the Old Testament ones. Does that make sense? So we will only be providing, let me see if I can clarify. We will only be providing the sermon helps that align with the theme scripture for the worship outlines. If you want the full set of Old Testament sermon class helps, you'll need to purchase either the PDF or the print copy from Herald House. But on the free version, we'll only be providing the thing that corresponds with the worship outline scripture. Okay. Any other questions about this kind of new test option?
Yeah, we're getting a few questions about whether or not you need an account. So can we clarify maybe just, do you need a Herald House account? Do you need a
Yes.
Dropbox account? Do you need any
Yes.
accounts at all? All those things.
The answer is no. For worship resources, this version of worship resources, you do not need an account. The Herald House team was very gracious in allowing us to kind of offload some of these resources so that you don't have to go through the cart process for this particular thing. You don't need a Dropbox account and you do not need a Herald House account. So if you come to Herald House, you can, again, just search for Advent or December or January, and those items will pop up. Or you can scroll, oops, I'm on this. Or you can scroll down here and click, oh, I'm too fast and slow on the clicking, I'm sorry. I get ahead of myself. Slow and steady, here we go. Click here. So this gives you, these are the 3 months that are currently out and available. Then you can click on the New Testament books that we were talking about just a minute ago. There's the Old Testament sermon class helps and the worship resources. So that's where you can get kind of like all of the materials in one place. But no account is necessary.
Where are the resources for anything after February?
They will be loaded by quarter. So these roll through January, and then the next quarter of resources they'll start posting like on December 1st. We'll post February, and on January 1st we'll post the next month. So that's kind of a rolling quarter.
But if you click on any of those months, you get the entire month. So you have to scroll through the entire month to find the particular Sunday that you need, correct?
Well, right now that's how it works, but that's what I'm talking about tonight is the test version that I was just showing. If that seems to be a good solution,
Yes.
Then we'll adapt the rest of those months and going on in the year.
Having to scroll through is not going to work for people. But I don't know how to find it then.
Any other questions at the moment? Okay, I have a short poll question I'm going to put up, and it's just kind of a way for us to get some feedback with this large of a group on the test option. So again, I'm gonna pull that up so you kind of have it in front of your mind again. So again, this is organized by week with all 3 things that you need for that week in the one document, and whether that's a Word doc or the HTML or the HTML web file, either of those are an option. So I'm going to launch this poll and encourage you to vote. Can you see the poll? Okay.
Well, people are voting. We've gotten a few questions. If the book's still available, is the PDF still available? And yes, all of those things are still available on heraldhouse.org. You can find them through the new mega menu, but many of the things that you're looking for, you'll probably find under the church life section of the navigation. And under there, you'll see there's a worship section. And so in the worship section there, you'll find the PDF, the book, all of those things.
Okay. It looks like we've got about 88% of the group has participated in the poll. I know some people, if you're on your phones, you probably won't be able to participate in the poll, so I apologize for that if you're joining just via audio. But if you want to put something in the chat about your thoughts, the options are that the test setup that we explained will work or help you access these resources more easily. And it was strongly agree, agree, unsure, disagree, or strongly disagree. So I'm going to end the poll and share the results. I've only done this like 2 times, the polling. It's really fun. We may have created a monster. Now I'll poll everyone for everything. And I think it's saying that I have to stop sharing. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a minute. Stop sharing. Share the results. Can you see the results? Okay. So it appears like 100 of you feel like the test setup will strongly help you get to these resources more easily. Another 43 feel like it will be in the agree category, and there's some that are still unsure. So fantastic, like that was great. Okay. I just want to kind of admit upfront that change is hard, and anytime that we change things, it creates havoc in people's lives. And there's been so much upheaval and change the last, 2 years that this probably feels like just one more thing that we're, piling on top of everyone. So thank you for participating tonight and giving us some really helpful feedback. Thank you for your ideas. Thank you for your willingness to travel alongside of us as we, kind of create new spaces for the church and its resources to exist. I will say that based on the feedback here tonight, I think we will go ahead and move forward with structuring those files so that people can access those weeks together. And I will finish the last couple of days in December. I'm missing Christmas Day and the 26th. I will get those done before we go on Thanksgiving break. And I don't know what happened to that one, so I'll fix December 5 as well. And then we'll continue to get those shifted over for January, February, and then moving forward for the rest of the year. How do I get December 5 now? The Word doc is available now. So if you can use the Word doc, you can access that right now. If you need the web one, I can get that probably uploaded, when we log off tonight. So give me maybe 30 minutes when we're done.
Jen?
Yes.
Several of us asked if we could record, and it never came back that we could.
Oh.
Is there a way that if there was somebody recording, that they could make that available to all of us? Some of us are parts of a team.
Yeah.
And there may be like a third of the team here. And
of course.
Thank you.
I think, Beck, we're recording this from our account in Zoom. So I think when we're done, we can download it and probably make that available on YouTube or provide a link to that somehow. I believe since you all registered, I may have, I don't know exactly if I have access to everyone's email, but we'll share that link widely. How about that? Thanks, Jim.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there going to be, or is there a document giving these instructions that we can download so that we can post them to our congregation's website?
I haven't made one yet because I wasn't sure if this solution would, actually meet your needs or not. So I have not done that, but we can, just to kind of give a brief instruction sheet of how to use or how to download.
That would be very helpful, especially for folks who are not watching this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have a question.
Sure. Go ahead.
With time, will it be possible for you to post them a little more far in advance than what you're planning right now? We tend to work like 3 months ahead instead of like just 1 month ahead.
Oh,
Planning.
I feel like that's something we could discuss for sure. I know Susan is kind of taking some notes, so we'll loop back up with the Formation Ministries team and with Herald House about that question in particular. Thank you.
I'm taking notes, and we can have a conversation. If you're needing it faster, I would suggest buying the book or buying the PDF, and you'll get the entire year as soon as you want it. So we're working probably as fast as we can go. So
Yeah, I understand.
Notes, but thank you, Lila.
I understand that. That's so I say maybe in the future is what I was meaning.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I forgot, I saw someone's question pop up that said they wondered if they could get scriptures and themes a year out, and dun dun dun, I can give you that. So here are scriptures and themes. This still opens up in the Dropbox interface. And
You're not still screen sharing.
oh, I'm not. Of course I'm not. Thank you. Aren't you seeing this fabulousness? No. Let me go back here. Okay, so on all of the products here, there's a list, and then down here are annual planning tools. So you can get the annual scripture and themes. You can get all of the worship planning helps material that are kind of like explaining the lectionary and kind of a little bit about how we do worship in Community of Christ. It's all the front part of that worship resources book. And then the lectionary chart, in case you needed to know what Sunday is proper 8 in 2024, you can download this fancy chart and it will tell you. So the scriptures and themes, like I said, opens up in Dropbox, and you can download these and share them however you want. It is a PDF document. I will say that if any of you have tried to copy and paste from this view from looking at Dropbox, it's nearly impossible. So I would highly recommend that you download these things and then share them with people that way. But that is available.
Jen, somebody made a comment about PowerPoints, and I just kind of wondered about mentioning the new product that we will have available soon or is available with the deck, the PowerPoint deck with the worship themes on heraldhouse.org.
Yes.
And then we have a few people have raised their hands, Justice.
Okay. So
we'll get to them too, maybe after that.
Yeah. So let me just clarify, I guess, the PowerPoint question. Are they talking specifically about the bulletins, or is this more about like if there's a worship?
No,
I just
thought we could plug that new product.
Oh, okay. Yes. So I will say that if there are PowerPoints associated with a worship, like every once in a while, there's a PowerPoint presentation that's referenced in the worship outlines. We'll make a link to that available probably on the site here. So you could, again, it would open up in Dropbox and you could download that PowerPoint. The new product that is available for people this year. Oh, I'm going to see if it. Yes. So this year we've launched a new product. It is worship screen, like PowerPoint screens that correspond with the bulletin covers. If your congregation or group ordered bulletin covers this year, they got a flyer that allows them, it gives them a special code, and you can download this for free this year. We just kind of wanted to see, have people try it and see how it works for them and get some feedback on that product. But it is a fantastic thing. I really didn't expect it to be as cool and as beautiful as it actually is. But when I was going through the slides, they were just as great as the bulletin covers, but just it's a little bit different. And I don't know, I just really, really liked it. So I'm hopeful that people will be able to incorporate some of those into their worship experiences if you're doing, you know, anything projected or online. And that is available for purchase. If you did not get bulletin covers this year, paper ones, you can go ahead and still purchase this item here at Harrow House. Okay.
Jen, may I ask a question about that?
Yes, you may.
How do we access that then? Our congregation always buys the bulletin covers. So how do we have access to that?
Whoever got the bulletins delivered to them, there was a bright colored flyer on the top of the box, like inside the box. And it talks about this product and has your code on that flyer. So you'll need to ask the person who got the bulletins.
Can that be shifted between multiple people? Because our planners do the PowerPoints, not one person.
Oh, after you purchase it, I think if that's what you're talking about.
That's just an additional question.
Yeah, I think that'd be okay if you keep
Okay.
it within your congregation.
Yeah.
Okay. And are those PowerPoints, are they editable?
The slide, let me think about this for a second. I feel like the final product has the image on it and it has the theme on it. And that is like, I mean, I'm going to say baked in, but those are hard, like coded. I think the date, you can get rid of the date if you don't want to use the date. And I feel like the scripture may or may not be editable.
And I will say, this is the first year that we're doing this, so we're kind of in a test phase. So we hope to roll out in more functional ways here in the coming years, I would say. So it's kind of a phase one.
And I think they'll be at the end of the slides. I think there's a request for feedback. So anything, if you use them this year, any of the feedback that you provide would be helpful as we kind of continue growing and morphing that product for next year.
I think I misunderstood. I thought you said that this year these PowerPoint slides are free, but it
If
says on
you-
there $100, which.
If you purchased bulletin covers, like the paper bulletin covers, you received a flyer that has a special code that when you go to
Okay.
the site to purchase it, it has a promo code.
Okay,
And when you enter the promo code, it gives you 100% discount.
okay. But so if we didn't purchase the bulletin covers, then we pay the $100.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have a few hands
Okay,
raised.
hands. Let's go to hands. Will
Let's
you just
start
call on
with our
people?
friend Justice Manning.
Okay. Hi, Justice.
Hey, I think you've answered part of my question, but are the annual twos not copyable? Like you said, in Dropbox, you have trouble copying. I have found that to be true.
Yeah.
So is there some place we can get the themes and annual worship scriptures easily?
Truthfully, it would not be a hard thing for me to do to shift all of that material into the same format that I have in the test option. So let me go back
That
to
sounds
that
good to
product.
me.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go back here real quick. Thanks for your patience as I like navigate around here. It's sometimes annoying when you're sharing screen and watching, so thank you. Also, if you don't hit search, it doesn't search. Okay. So here, I think what I could do is change this to say scriptures and themes, and then put in parentheses doc and parentheses web. So we can make that available in a way that's copy and pasteable.
Thank you.
The one thing I will say about the lectionary chart, that will have to be a PDF that you download because I don't have that in Word. It's only available in a PDF document, but the rest of it I can do. Okay, next question.
Frederick.
Frederick, yes.
Frederick.
Is if we go to the search box right now and type in test, can we get the test Advent, December, etc.
Yes, you can.
planning and download the docs?
Yeah.
Because the current downloads when before you started the testing was very unfriendly.
Yes.
Very hard to highlight, and then when you paste it into, say, a Word document, it loses all the formatting, hard to edit. So that'll be great if we can go to the test now and get it in the MS Doc form.
Yep, that is live now. So like I said, the only thing that you can't get right now is the December web, which I'll fix after we're done here. And then I'll get the Christmas Day and 26th loaded after probably tomorrow.
And
But
I'll
yes.
post a link to that again here in the chat. So here, just give me 1 minute and I'll do that.
Oh, good. Okay.
Gary has a question.
Hi, Gary.
Hi there. I've got two questions. I just opened our box with the bulletin covers.
Mhm.
There was nothing in there about a sheet, give you a code number or something.
Okay.
I suggest you contact Herald House.
Okay.
And they will be able to provide it to you.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, you mentioned early on that you're making major changes to the website. Our website, and I know a number of other websites, have a lot of links to World Church pages. When will we be able to, or will we be able to get a list of the changes and when those changes will occur, so we don't have a bunch of broken links?
That's a really good comment. And I don't have an answer for you right now, but we can probably, I'm going to side comment Becca real quick. Beck, do you know, I don't know what the page names, if they will be the same.
I do for most of the parts. So we assume that if you're going to be linking off to what I'll call like foundational community of Christ, part of that, our foundational message. So enduring principles, mission initiatives, basic beliefs, some of those will be the same, but many of those will change. Perhaps we can provide you in December what those links will be when we do officially launch the site, because I'm afraid that most of those will probably be different for you.
Would it be possible to just simply get a list of the links so we can find them, highlight them in our documents so that we know which HTML code we're going to have to change?
I think that's something that we can do. Yes. So maybe in December, we can work on that before we leave for the Christmas break.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for raising that.
That's a really
just
good
a
question.
comment on that one. So this will only work for those items that will stay on the new cfchrist.org email address. For those items,
I'm aware of that.
Oh, okay.
for those items that will go to the new website, the new SharePoint website, that will be completely different.
Right.
So not everything stays on the new website.
And there was a question earlier too that we haven't gotten to. What is the URL for the SharePoint site? Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Jen?
Yes. If you are a member of our social media community, either on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, maybe a week or so ago, you saw a call for naming ideas. And so we've collected about 72 maybe options of names for what to call the site. And we're narrowing those down, and we'll put out another vote for maybe like the top 3 and let people vote on what they feel like their favorite is, and then we'll call it that. So I can't tell you what the URL is yet because I don't know for sure. So stay tuned. Any other questions or hands?
There were a ton of questions that popped through, and I tried my very best to get to as many as I could. If you feel like I did not answer your question, you can pop it back in the chat again or raise your hand. To raise your hand, I don't really know how you do it other than go to the participants tab and click on your name, I think, at the bottom of the screen.
I see Tony has a
Tony.
raised hand.
Yeah.
Yes, I was wondering, can you look at some of those weekly worship images, the PowerPoints before you purchase them, just to kind of get a feel for what they look like?
You know, we could load a couple of options there so you could see more than one. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sandra.
Yes, I just had a question with the Old Testament and New Testament books.
Mhm.
If we don't want to purchase them and we just want access to them, you know, shortly before a service, can we access that just through, you know, a document or just online? Can we look everything up that we want, even if we don't purchase the book?
I think I understand your question, but let me just clarify. So if you're talking about like are you preaching on a particular Sunday and you just want to look at the sermon helps that Sunday or for that Sunday?
Yeah, I know you said that when you have a lot of scriptures listed for a given Sunday, only the main scripture that is the theme focus would be included in the worship helps. But what if you wanted to see other ones with comments?
We typically don't provide commentary on the additional scriptures.
Oh,
The
I was thinking you said that you did.
No, the commentary is just on the main scripture. Where it gets confusing to me anyway, and Susan, maybe you can clarify this if I don't do a good job. There are, you know, two books of sermon and class helps that we are going to explore this year in year C, from Advent through November. And if you purchase the year C book, some of the services that you look at may have a New Testament scripture, so it won't correspond to the same date there or the same scripture. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this. Susan, tag, like, help me.
I was thinking you meant that if you looked in those books, you could see other information about the scriptures.
No, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Only on the focus scripture.
Okay.
For that Sunday. So, yeah.
Okay. So it's just a repeat of what you find throughout the worship helps for people who don't use the computer then or something.
Yes, the book is actually exactly what you find online.
Okay.
It's just a different format.
Okay, sounds good. I'll use my study Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Any other hands or questions?
I'm not seeing any other hands.
Okay.
Jim just unmuted himself. So.
Okay.
Jim, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question that's kind of specific, but not. Have we thought about trying to do things to produce output for people who might have vision or hearing impairments? You know, the things that we put out are good things, but if some of our planners, if some of our priesthood, if some of our presiders are, you know, impacted somehow, is there a way that we can just add how those people might get the resource, not give different resources, but how they might get access to the resources we do list? I don't know, I may be not specific enough, but I leave that with you.
I think I get what you're saying. And really the shift to providing Word documents or even HTML copy really opens up the possibility for people to use their, what is it called? Immersive reader, not immersive. Oh shoot, I can't think of the term right now. But it's the like if you're visually impaired, it can read the text on a document, and that is much easier to do in a Word format than a PDF format. For hearing impaired, that wouldn't necessarily, impact someone's ability to read these resources. So that maybe isn't so much of an issue on this particular thing, but it's something we continue to look at when we're talking about captions on videos, et cetera.
Yeah. And I guess that's part of what I'm saying is if we refer to a video, if that video can already have CC enabled, that might help some people who have hearing problems. That's just for instance.
Yeah. Beck, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like all of our YouTube videos have closed captions.
Right.
And you have
And
to
if they
turn it on.
Yes.
But Jim, as we have been talking, I've been thinking that would be something as I edit the year A, which comes at the end of this year. I'm in the process of editing the next publication of Worship Helps. If that was included in the Worship Helps to say this video is also closed captioned.
Yeah. That's a
Thank you, Susan. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking. Yeah. And just, a lot of people, when they see that, they can hit the CC and then, be involved where they felt locked out before. Thank you, Susan.
Thanks, Jim.
Barbara Duke has been unmuted. I assume, Barbara, you have a question to ask?
Well, it's really not a question. I just want to thank all of you for your hard work and helping us with this project. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your feedback and willingness to hop on here on a Tuesday. No, Monday. It's only Monday. Monday night. It's like the longest Monday in history today. Okay, so I think if there's no other questions, it looks like the chat is pretty quiet. I don't see any other hands raised. We're just about in an hour. So I think we'll probably wrap it up. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for your feedback. We, always try to do the right thing, but sometimes it isn't the right thing. And so thank you for helping us course correct a little on this. And we'll look forward to additional feedback as you kind of use the new system once we get that up and rolling. We'll share, let's see, our takeaways from here, at least the immediate ones, are to get the rest of December available and January, February. And then we'll also share the link for where to watch this stunning presentation that has been super fun for people who maybe weren't able to join us tonight. So we'll share that link as well.
Hey, Jen, can I jump in with a quick question? I put in the chat, what about the app and connecting stuff to the app like we've been doing in the past with worship resources?
So here's another big information change that's going to be happening. The app as you know it, exactly from the Apple Store or from the App Store or from the Google Play Store, is going to go away. But there is going to be a replacement. It will be a progressive web app that will be available through the seaofchrist.org website. And when you click on that particular thing on the menu, it will know that you're on a mobile device and ask if you want to download to your phone or tablet, and it will pop an icon there. And we anticipate that a lot of the material that you can find on the app will be available in the new app experience as well. The main benefits from that, and Becca, you can jump in here if I miss something. The main benefits of switching from a native, created app to a progressive web app are really about functionality, updatability, and accessibility for our French and Spanish speakers. So right now we only have an English app. We just don't have the capacity or bandwidth to create a French and Spanish version. So with Progressive Web App really being tightly integrated with the website, it automatically provides an experience for our French and Spanish speakers, and also doesn't require us to hire a developer every time we need to make a change to the app and then go through the resubmission process to the app stores and make sure that we are, keeping current with all of their standards and requirements. So for an organization our size, Progressive Web App makes the most sense. And I think that I'm hopeful that it will be a really good experience for everyone.
I'm trying to write as you talk. Can you explain again how you get that new app?
We will tell you. I mean, you don't have to worry about it right now unless you
Okay.
really, really want to, but we'll be doing a whole lot of additional sessions and trainings and previews for the new website when it launches in first quarter, beginning of 2022, and also for the SharePoint platform as well. There'll be a lot of opportunities for people to hop on a live session or view a recorded session.
But the short and skinny of it is, Beth, you just need to go, once the new seaofchrist.org launches, just go to seaofchrist.org when you're on your mobile device, and the website will recognize that you're on your mobile device and ask you if you want to download the app to your device. So it's really going to be that simple. But again, as Jen said, we'll review all of this when we actually launch the site in 22.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Again, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for your patience with us. And it was really good to see and talk with you tonight. So I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving for those of you in the United States, and blessings to everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. You as well.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Sandy
Thanks,
Pascal,
Becca.
bye.
Thank you,
everyone.
Very helpful.
From Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you.
Bye, Julius.
Hey. It was wonderful. Thank you so much.
I still, Sandy Pascal, you're still here. Sandy Honeychurch. Waving. Okay.